I've been telling myself I was going to talk about perfectionism for a while, and I think today's the day. There's no moment where you realize that it's something that you're dealing with. Well, at least in my case, it's always been there. I've gone through life wanting to get better, improve, to perfect everything that I do. I want to do, well, everything that I do to the highest standard I can. And for a long time, that was the fuel that drove me. I found that this plane's a bit annoying, isn't it? I found that lacking motivation, lacking spikes in ups and downs, happiness and sadness, through all of that, that chip on my shoulder, that desire to make things different, to make them better, to build something out of them, was what drove me. It was there no matter what. It was always there, it was omnipresent in my mind. It certainly pushed me to achieve more. I've not achieved great things yet, but that feeling of inadequacy made me just that little bit more driven. Compared to some of my peers, I mean, some of my peers are far more driven than I. But over time, that need to be perfect, to appear perfect, to make everything nice, to make everything better, started to become, at least I identified it as becoming something that was hindering my mental development, certainly my mental health. The price of the achievements that I had as a result of thinking in that way, well, the price was a high one. It took a great toll on my happiness, my ability to be happy, which is fundamental. I found that whereas before I would have extracted a great pleasure, great satisfaction from achieving something new, I started to see a pattern in how I was thinking. I started to understand that no matter what I achieved and did next, it wasn't going to be enough. There was always something else I could make perfect. And it was always something to do with me. I mean, I think the pursuit of making things better in our society is a good thing, and certainly the pursuit of making something perfect as you imagine it in relation to any creative industry is a noble pursuit, but you can't look at yourself as someone that can be perfected. You are only what you are. There's no image or role that you need to fulfill that is something greater than you, something different than you. You're only you. I would criticize myself so often for minor things that people didn't notice. I mean, things that I might not have even been conscious of. I might have just felt a feeling that I could have done better there, or changed something here, or been different there. Over time, that started to round itself out in my mind. I started to understand that as a feeling of inadequacy, and I think those two, at least in my perception, are related. The constant pursuit of perfection and the feeling of inadequacy that comes as a result of not meeting that perfect standard all the time. I mean, no one can meet the standard of perfection. There is no perfect person. I was in a difficult place when I came to that realization. I started to think, well, is it something that I wanted to abandon? It was part of me. It was who I was. That seeking of achievement was something that people knew me for. It certainly produced, proud grandparents, and the things that I did were talked about in such high regard, but the toll it was having on me was a very different picture. I felt that fuel, that feeling, was something that I didn't want to leave behind because I was scared of not continuing achieving whatever it was that I was. But eventually, and through talking to people and just through understanding them, I came to understand myself more, and I didn't feel that I was being fair to myself in terms of how critical I was of everything that I did. And so I abandoned it. It's still there, somewhere in the back of me. I mean, there's echoes of that version of me, but needing everything to be perfect, needing myself to be perfect, is not something that I think is important anymore. There are times when I give it my all, I try it my best, and I feel that I do that with everything that I think is important in my life. But that fuel, I've just let it go, and I'm happier because of it. I'm able to see imperfection, which is everywhere. I mean, the hills behind me are beautiful, but they're not perfect lines, and they don't perfectly conform to how you would like to walk up them. There's beauty in imperfection. I think imperfection is probably the definition of beauty, the appreciation for things that are as they are. They are self-evident, they insist on themselves. They don't pretend to be someone else. I don't pretend to be someone else. I'm only me. There's a freedom in that, in being able to express myself for who I am without looking over my shoulder at myself and wondering what I could have done differently. You never fix yourself. You never completely change. There'll always be influences from your past, but I just wanted to reflect on how far I've come.